3rd, we'd like to ask everybody to please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome in, everybody. I'm going to have Ms. Woodward call roll, please.
Susan Bartow?
Yes.
Jenny Benner?
Here.
Sorry.
Sorry.
They can hear you.
Becky Ricketts?
Yes.
Marty Sidebottom?
Here.
Vicki Stanley?
Here.
Amy Stuber?
Here.
Jim Yates?
Here.
John Singler?
Here. Okay, first order of business then is our special meeting minutes from Tuesday, February 3rd. Those have been distributed and some revisions were made on February 9th. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve Tuesday, February 3rd, 2025 minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Ricketts.
I'll second.
Here's a second from Mr. Yates. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. The minutes pass. Okay, on to the treasurer's report. Ms. Kaiser, if you would, please.
We have a beginning balance of $3,852,484.81, receipts of $268,592.15, disbursements of $713,003.19, and an ending balance of $3,408,073.77.
Questions?
Did you say 3 million? Say that last number one more time.
$408,073.77.
I have one question about that, about the variance. And it's minor. I just want the language. I want to make sure that we're okay with this, Mayor. It says Roads and Park Capital Project for the 2 million, and would that not be, that 2 million was also for anything in the other parks and areas, correct?
The way it was,
Not just Robeson.
well, you could probably break it out like that, but that's how it was listed when we did our budget, Robeson Park Capital Project for playground equipment.
Okay. I just want to make sure that when we start spending that money on something else, we don't get in trouble. And when I mean something else, I mean the other park.
I think it would be, I mean, the council would probably be fine if you said you're going to split it up to Ramara Place or whatever, because it's capital project money. And then your committee spread it out for all parks, right? So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Kaiser. Chief Schroeder is ill this evening, so we do have Deputy Chief Thomas, if you'd like to come up, sir. Everybody was given the police report for February, or for January, excuse me. Do you have, I don't know if you have it on copy and paper in front of you, but Chief Thomas does.
All right, for the January report, Linden Police Department had 76 citations, which also include arrest citations. We responded to 6 call responses, 5 of which were in Linden. Again, we had 76 citations, 33 were in Linden. Collision reports, 23, 14 were in Linden. Courtesy notices, 11 total, 5 of those were in Linden. Offense reports, 45, 29 were in Linden. Crisis intervention, 5 total, 4 in Linden. JC3, which are domestic violence reports, 11 total, 7 in Linden. And missing persons, 2, 1 of which was in Linden. For the totals of the percentages we broke up into each city, we spent 81.6% of our time in the city of Linden. The next highest one looks like Graymore Devondale at 5.1%. Just a couple of highlighted things. I think Chief Schroeder touched on this. I wasn't here at the last meeting, but officers did respond to an injury collision in North Hurstbourne Lane, Forest Green Boulevard. It was a rollover accident. One subject was taken to Baptist East Hospital. That subject, we were notified that his wife 2 days later, he passed away. So Officer Brooks is conducting a fatal reconstruction investigation on that. Any questions?
Passed away from the accident?
We're not sure yet. That's what the investigation is going to show. Once the coroner looks at him and figures it out, we'll probably know.
Was this from the report, January 13th?
This happened on January 30th.
I was just looking, because the last police report that I have is from January 13th. I didn't see one.
I'm not sure. I don't have the date
Okay.
per se on that one.
That was between your report from January 13th and your February report that he's reading now. I think, Chief, you might recall that because I believe Chief did bring that up at the end of his comments, that you would not see it on that report, but he was discussing that potential.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird how we do this. We give you a monthly report, but it's the previous month for a total.
Yeah, no, I was just, because I was comparing your numbers, what you were saying, because I think you said like 45 and it says 44 in here, and you said total in Linden was 76, but on this report it says 74. And I was just making sure that it had the right.
Yeah, this was dated February 16th.
Okay.
That's the report you should have. It was dated February 16th.
Thanks.
Any further questions? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Is there any unfinished or old business the council would like to discuss? If not, you can wait till other business, either one.
Would the farmer's market be our own business?
Yes, you're going to get to that, which may not be on your agenda. Actually, it needs to be written in that you have in front of you a grant request. So if that's okay, I think maybe we can lump that discussion in with when we get to that portion for the grant request. Okay, I'm going to move on then to Municipal Order 22326. This is establishing a budget oversight committee. You have that order in front of you. Like Ms. Benner, I don't believe it was rewritten, but the fonts were changed and there was a number given. Do you have any comments or discussion about that you'd like to give?
No, I think that the important thing is just up to 5 people, and I'm suggesting 2 council members, 2 residents or business stakeholders, and then the deputy chief of police.
Do you have any names at this time you'd
Yes.
like to provide?
For the council, myself and Becky Ricketts. And then have one other name of Larry Owens, who's here tonight.
So that leaves one more person.
Did you want to include Chief?
His name's on
Deputy
there.
Chief Thomas, yeah. So that would be 4 people.
Deputy Chief?
So we're looking for another,
Or it can stay at 4, that's why it says up to. So it goes up to council.
And I noticed that in here it just mentions 5, it doesn't have the 2 council, 2 members of the community, and the deputy chief. So can we have that written in, that that's what it will include?
Personally, I'd rather not, because I would prefer it to be open-ended, because things might change.
Okay.
And there might be a time that we want a different makeup, whatever that looks like. Maybe we want 3 council members and...
Well, I mean, we can always amend it, we can change it later. I just think it's good to have parameters so we know when we set this forth, what we want, right? Initially, it's 2, 2, and 1, so that's my 2 cents.
So instead of section 4, composition and appointment, under item A, the committee shall consist of up to 5 members. You wanted to outline exactly what Ms. Benner said to council.
I would feel more comfortable passing it with yes, outlining like that.
I had mentioned that earlier also. I mean, it's not a sword to die on, but yeah, 2 council members plus 3.
Except
Business.
as Ms. Benner said, it might end up being 4 council and,
Why?
Well,
Why would you ever do that?
Well-
That's a quorum.
well, that's, okay, so it might end up being 3 council. And I just, think it, not.
It's a petty thing, it doesn't matter, I don't think.
I don't know, I've been thinking about it, and I just think we ought to just leave it the kind of way it is.
Nobody can hear this.
I know, it doesn't matter. All right, what are we doing? We're just gonna leave it, guys? I'm sorry, let's move on.
Or somebody
I'll
can make a motion?
So does there need to be a motion to pass the order and then the appointments made? Mr. Singler?
Yes.
Okay.
So is that a motion for the order as written to be passed?
Yes.
Ms. Bartow?
Second.
Second by Ms. Ricketts. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have established a budget oversight committee for the city. We still need, I don't have a name for you today. You have any other names? Because
No, I don't, but does anybody else on the council? I mean, it's for all of us.
I do have a couple of ideas, but I want to run it by them first, if you don't mind, and I'll get right back to you by Wednesday or Thursday. Is that all right? Can we go that way?
so we come back and establish the committee in March.
I don't want to push it back too far, because we're starting to get into budget. Going to start getting into budget crunch pretty soon, so the sooner the better that we get this committee up and running, even if we're missing a fifth member.
When do you plan on meeting?
Who?
Soon. I don't know. I would think I'd say before the end of this month.
I'm not prepared to commit to those appointments at this time.
All right, we're passing this knowing that at this time, we do not have all our members, and that's okay, right? And then we can add the fifth member as we go along.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so we've already done that, so
But
now
they
we just have
technically
to
can't meet though,
come
because they
back
don't
with
have
our
committee
fifth
members
person.
technically appointed by the body.
That's right. You've created the committee, but you haven't filled it yet.
Yeah, okay, that's great.
Does that need a motion?
No, you've made a motion to pass the order establishing a committee. Members are next. Okay, we're going to move on from that one then. You've got,
So,
yes,
excuse me, Mayor.
yes,
So we are not making a motion tonight to name at least 4 of the...
unless you
members?
come up with some other names, I'm not prepared to commit to those appointments. It takes both of us.
Anyone like to sit on the budget committee?
Sir,
Will you share what names you're against?
You don't have a complete, according to this, but yes, I will. Mr. Owens, I don't believe is going to be a good fit for that, in my opinion, and that's my opinion. I don't need to say anything else. We're going to look for 2 other people. Sorry, folks. It takes you all to agree and me to agree. All right. So we are going to move on. Municipal Order 22326A, this is a grant by Wilder Elementary. They've asked for the amount of $50,000 for their playground equipment. You have that printed out before you. It's left open-ended, but their request, as submitted in our online portal, as she visited us last month, amount of funding sought by the City of Linden, $50,000. The funds will be utilized to bring in All Abilities Playground in addition to Wilder Elementary School's current playground. This addition will feature pour-in-place flooring, sensory equipment and panels, musical equipment, communication board for nonverbal and ESL students to communicate with their peers, equipment that is wheelchair assistive device friendly. So you have that order in front of you with a blank in the monetary provision. It's up to you to fill it or not fill it.
I'd like to propose at least giving some amount, even if it's just $1,000.
Is there any discussion?
There's only four, not quite 50,000 is actually more than our ruling, so to speak, first of all. And secondly, there's not a whole lot of money left in the charity budget. So I don't know if maybe at this time we need to table this. I mean, that's just, I don't want to be mean, but I think maybe at this time we need to table it till we have a chance to look at it a little further and maybe see where they are with their funding when we flip fiscal years. Well, but 50 is, that's, our top line is like 10 when somebody asks for money, in case you guys didn't know.
We did give the library 16,500. And then you gave Bowen some money, and I don't have that exact number in front of me, but we have not yet paid any invoices related to that. So you've spent $8,500 so far this year out of the $25,000 that's budgeted under grant funding requests. And you do have another grant proposal immediately following this discussion.
We've spent 16.5 just alone on the library.
You did commit that. We've spent some money so far on the library, the Chef in Residence program. So you committed $16,500. Is that right? No. You paid that. We paid that. That's why it shows there. Yes, we paid $16,500. You owe Bowen another 5 to 6, I believe it was, for the stickers. I don't have that in front of me right now. Actually, I do somewhere.
So are we getting to our limit on?
Close, but that's what I mean. So Ms. Ricketts
Yeah, I'm
was saying,
I-
yeah. Oh, it's in here somewhere. So what's the action you want to take on this?
How much is
Table.
left in that pile? 4,000?
I don't remember where they were at. Just a moment here.
Also, the Lothian Farmers Market, I'm not sure that that's stated as a grant, or is that something that would come out of the
They applied for a
beautification?
grant, and that should be in your packets as well.
It is, but
And that's
shouldn't
not,
that come out of the beautification budget?
it's a grant request. You have something you can say?
Yeah, I mean, I suggested it be a grant request because it's a separate entity that's using the funds, or will be using the funds to set itself up to create the farmer's market. It's not going to be done through a city department, it's through a separate entity, and that would be a proper grant request.
I'm going to propose that we give Wilder at least 1,000. That's what I'm proposing, so anybody else?
I second that.
I agree to that.
Okay, there's been a motion by Ms. Stanley and a second, who was that? Ms. Sidebottom, thank you. Those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Ms. Stuber and Mr. Yates. Very good. 5-2, $1,000, Wilder Elementary's playground. Okay. Move on to your next one then, which is grant request for $1,750 for the Farmers Market, Robeson Park Farmers Market. Is there any discussion on that?
We need an update?
And you can have an update on it before you make motion. That's the time we can do this now.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the $1,750 for the
Second.
farmers market.
Very good. Motion by Ms. Ricketts, second by Ms. Stuber. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Very good. Order passes. $1,750 to creation of the farmer's market. All right. Lost my spot. Excuse me. Very good. That's it for the new business. Just some quick announcements, and we'll get into other business. We do have 2 meetings next month. Caucus meeting, March 16th, 6 p.m. Council meeting, March 23rd, 6 p.m. Also, this Wednesday, a Kentucky League of Cities City Day, City Night program for the elected officials. KLC puts it on every year. KLC board meeting in the morning at 8 in Frankfort, Kentucky. followed by different legislative committees that you can be part of, sit in on, and then a little bit in the evening. So if council wasn't already aware, that's registration is free and it's still open, and it is this Wednesday.
What is the date, Mr. Mayor?
I believe, yeah, make me do some quick math. Yeah, the 25th, this Wednesday.
25th.
It's 2 days from now.
This Wednesday?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, this Wednesday.
It's this week.
Yeah, 2 days from now.
All right, very good. We're going to move on to the other business. Is this where you want to bring up farmer's market? Ms. Stanley,
I'm sorry.
do you want to talk about farmer's market now and give an update?
We can. On the other business, I do just one thing. Have you determined whether the committee, the finance committee that we had set up is null and void? And I'd like to send a letter to them.
So this is what the municipal order says. It says that you're creating a short-term committee with the goal of achieving its purpose within 4 committee meetings. But it doesn't have a formal end date. It just says it's a short-term committee and you're going to be able to achieve it in 4 committee meetings. So there's not some sort of a end date in this. So if you want to do that, I would just, I think probably just a motion to say that the committee is dissolved. That would clear it up.
I'd like to make a motion that this committee is dissolved.
Second.
And reiterate which committee was that on the municipal order?
It is termed the Linden Police Department and, let's see,
Occupational.
no, I don't
occupational
know that
tax.
you gave it a name.
Finance and revenue.
Finance and
I would call it the Finance and Revenue Committee, yeah.
I can't remember the name either. There was a discussion about the occupational tax and ways to
Right.
raise revenue for the city of Linden. Mhm. So motion made by Ms. Stanley, there was a second by Ms. Ricketts. Those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, very good. Other business?
I'd like to bring up some discussion about the opioid abatement money.
Okay,
We haven't spent any of that money, and it's still coming in, and I know that an area that we may have a need for is a baby box, and those cost about $15,000 to $20,000. That's the initial cost. Then there's also the cost of electrical and alarm, plus hooking it up and training, and there's an annual fee of $500 for maintenance. So I would like for us to look into that. I think it could be a great place to spend some of that opioid abatement money, unless anybody else has any other ideas.
Where would that be installed?
At the fire department?
Have you discussed that with them yet?
No,
Okay.
but that's where they're putting them, so I
Tell me
mean,
the cost, tell me the cost again.
$15,000 to $20,000 as an initial cost, and plus to wire the electrical and alarm hookup.
How much is our abatement?
Well, I mean, I don't know how
we've
much.
got 60 some odd $1,000 right now in a pool, and the money continues to come on varying rates. But
It's hard to predict. You know, we get notice that other parties have settled, and then you get notice how much it's going to be, but there's not really a way of predicting it. So it is still coming in, and I would say several times a year, we will get notice that another settlement has come through.
And I think that's a great idea. We've never really discussed how Linden could best use this kind of money, even with the police department, and, is there something that they, would also is there a program that they need, or is there, it's not anything, since I've been on the council, that we've even discussed. What should we be doing with opioid abatement money? I mean, we probably have an opioid problem in Linden. I don't witness it, but it might be here. What do we want to do? What is it that we're doing with the money?
Well, there is a very restrictive list on what that money can go for. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably listed on a website that I could find for us.
I've got it. I've got a handout on my computer I can send out tomorrow.
Good.
You can distribute it.
Has anybody checked with the St. Matthews Fire Department to see if they have budgeted this for the baby box?
No, but they don't have one.
They don't have one.
I think the closest place, I believe, it was a while ago that I looked, but I believe the closest place was like Fairvale.
Well, I think probably warrants more discussion for sure. As the money continues to come in, we're still trying to identify the best ways to utilize it in Linden. I'm not saying that's not, but there's many other things. If Chief was here, he'd probably have some other suggestions as well. Not Deputy Chief Thomas, anything we discussed partnering with the city of J-Town with their Angel program in any ways that we might be able to be assistant with that since they've already have a well-established program in that regard for opioid addiction and those that struggle with that, pooling our funds with them to send them J-Town's way in certain ways. And obviously there's, like I said, many different things you can do with the money. So first suggest maybe get that list in front of us to be able to kind of take a look at just what all is available, because it's said before, it's restricted fund. We want to make sure that it's being spent properly and accounted for and everything else. So, but suggestions are always welcome, and I think that's a good one to start with and figure out what the fire department, what their stance is on that.
I mean,
Thank you.
do you think it would be anything other than yes?
I think there are probably several reasons why they might say no, but I'm not in the fire department. I mean, $15,000 to $20,000, and also like cutting into the building and making the box, and do they have a space for that? Where would they put it? I don't know. I'm not at the fire department, but I don't think we can commit to that money being directed to that right now. There needs to be some more research done, in my opinion.
Have research.
I'm not saying no, I just need to have some more info, and thank you for bringing that up.
Are we finished with that discussion?
If you'd like, yes.
Okay, I have attended, I don't think it was past Saturday before, an event at Dare to Care. I was going to say something else. An event at Dare to Care, and what they were talking about mostly is how underutilized their program is, and why, the stigma behind it, for one thing, and other thing, just knowledge that it's there and it's out there. And I know that we used to have a pantry here, a food pantry. Was that through Dare to Care?
Yes.
Through us. Oh,
Well,
that's
yes, but Dare to Care gives the food, the produce.
Yeah, but we don't do that.
It goes to the
We're not doing
Berrytown Community Center, which rarely do we get anybody that comes in to ask for
Right.
anything. We do keep food in that closet over there, so I do have care packages to give if somebody does ask. Linden Christian Church has kind of taken over the local food pantry aspect. I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly what days they do it, but it's once or twice a month.
Eastern Area Community Ministries, pantries 4 days a week.
Yeah, I think we have some close enough that that's not something that we maybe want to do, but maybe we do. Is there maybe the newsletter, a reminder? Is there just anything that we might be able to do to help push the information out there? Because I'm sure that there are Lindenites who could use, that service. There's, again, the stigma behind it. We're all working together to change the wording, the way things are worded, and how with the flyers and everything, even billboards and TV, how that's going to be worded differently, but also just total awareness. And so anything that the council can do, not money, but, anything we can do to help build awareness of that would be, amazing. Newsletters, website, which may already be on there, I don't know if I did. But just a suggestion on what we might be able to do.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Where are we on an auditor for the budget?
If you would like, Dean Dorton has agreed to, if you are willing to allow them to audit. Dean Dorton. Audits KLC, St. Matthews, many others, one of the largest firms. And so Ms. Ricketts reached out to him. They are going to do municipal clients. When I asked in the fall, obviously, it was no. I have the emails to show, as I sent you, Ms. Stuber. But they're open to doing it, but you will not have a completed audit until June. And that's the case for all the auditors because it's tax time right now. So the DLG will accept an extension for the city's audit. But I wanted to ask you first before I sign an engagement letter. He's waiting on email right now for a yes or a no.
Do we need to make a motion?
You don't have to. I just wanted to run it by you first.
I think we ought to use Dean Dorton. They have a good reputation. They do the city of St. Matthews and some small cities.
And KLC.
And KLC, yes. So
Very good. Okay.
I think we should use them.
They know everything.
Yeah, starts
And
tomorrow.
I've had a couple of conversations and emails with a representative from Dean Dorton, and I'm very impressed with the way they presented themselves by email and by phone call to me as well.
Very good. I'll go ahead and engage with them, and we'll get that process started. And as I said, though, you're not going to have the results until at least June at this point. Okay. Other business?
What is the park lease? Is this something that we need to?
Yes, we discussed that last time. The relationship between the entity that's going to use your land for the farmer's market needs to be defined between you and the city. I came up with a very simple lease format to get you going. I thought I would keep it as simple as humanly possible and just go through this year and set out just the very basic terms of the usage of your park area for the farmer's market.
Does our farmer's market, community market person do you have a copy? Do you have a copy of this?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, we just finished it today. We wanted you to have the copy, though, just to see that it says there's no monetary exchange for the use of the park. There's no utilities available at this time to be used, and it's whatever day of the week that's selected that they have 8 hours to conduct the market, and the lease will be reviewed again at the end of the calendar year. So
How do we provide police security for them that come out of our budget?
that's part of that lease agreement, that if there's any incidents or requests for security, that Linden Police would provide that.
Will they pay us?
Not in there for that, no. But it's, an event at the park, so having police presence, to check in, or what I call pedestrians crossing the street or whatever for traffic, that's just part of what they're going to do for us anyway, Mr. Yates. We'll get you a copy of that. Pretty simple, so. Anybody else on the council? I'm going to open up the floor now. If you wish to speak, if you haven't done so, sign in on your way out, but let us know who you are, where you live, and what your topic is. Anybody?
Hi, Michelle Davis with Farmers Market. In regards to your food pantry type idea, it's exactly what the community resource tent's for. So if you guys,
that's right.
Yeah. So if you want to get like a brochure drawn up, I'll be happy to make sure that that's, in there. And then, because we sell things like food, certain things at the market anyway are only shelf stable for so long for certain things. Other things like fresh produce, you can only have out for so long. So depending on the need, we can make something happen with that as well. Like, usually if I have leftovers, I personally drive them down to Feed Louisville anyway. I know some of my other friends do the same thing. Typically things like the meats that have to be kept frozen and what have you anyway. As long as there's nothing going on with their freezers or anything, those are fine to reuse. But certain things, like breads and the produce that's fresh, it can only be outside in that environment like for so long once it's picked. And then I just happen to know, again, I went to a training class specifically for market managers on Friday in Lexington, associated with UK Ag and all that. So there are other programs in Kentucky specifically for those. And I've already reached out and talked to a couple of the people while networking there. One, there's an initiative, it's called Glean Kentucky. I don't know if you know what gleaning means. If you know anything about art, there's a very famous painting called The Gleaners. And what that is after the combine and everybody's come through and picked everything, the gleaners are the people that go through and nitpick and clean everything out. So essentially with Glean Kentucky, it's the same type thing as Feed Kentucky, because there's, Feed Louisville, which is here local, and that's run by chefs and volunteers. There's the Feed Kentucky program, there's Dare to Care, Glean. They're all very similar. Some use different types of food or can take different types of food, but it's all the same premise, and it gets redistributed to the community appropriately.